up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly.
Hi there everyone, welcome to today's curriculum assembly. Let's get started in all our usual ways. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, and together we will. And our everyday focuses are, and our Stukeley motto is, and our Stukeley curriculum is, and 4 words that always make the magic happen. Brilliant. Well, here we are, everyone. Welcome to today's curriculum assembly. Last week, if you remember, we heard Mrs. Page telling us all about her expertise in art. Do you remember? I wonder if you can remember, though, exactly what particular part of art she focused on and the part that she enjoys the most. Pause me now and see if you can remember. That's right, it was sculpture. We talked about the Angel of the North, you know, that great big metal sculpture by Anthony Gormley. We also said that there were many different aspects to art. So when we are doing art, we're talking about 3D work in sculpture, we're talking about painting and drawing and printing and textile design and photography, digital design and much, much more. All of those different parts of art all come under that big umbrella of what we refer to when we're talking about art at school. And when you do art at Stukeley Meadows, you should get an opportunity to look at and to try all of those different aspects of art. That's our plan. Well, this week's curriculum focus is science, with a little bit of maths thrown in because those two go together pretty closely, but mainly about science. Very quickly though, before we meet our experts, I wonder what you think about when we learn about science in school. What is it that we do? So when we're doing science, what do we mean? What is it that we're actually doing? You can pause me if you like and have a quick think before we go on any further. Okay, so you may have done a quick pause there, you might not have done, but at our school, when we're thinking about science, we talk about 3 big ideas that are the kind of foundational building blocks. So everything else we learn will be built upon these 3 foundational ideas, and we call them our big ideas. And they are living things, forces, and matter. And these are the key concepts that are at the very heart of science and at the very heart of our science curriculum. So in terms of what science looks like for you and me in the classroom, some of the units we learn, well, we talk a lot about animals, and that includes humans. So we learn about classifying animals. In year 1, we do a lot of work on that. We talk about, and over time, we think about food and nutrition, so we talk about food cycles, we talk about how our bodies work, so we think about the bodies of animals as well as the human body, and we learn about digestion and the circulation system and all of those things. We also learn about materials, we talk about the properties of materials. We begin to learn words like transparent and opaque, and we talk about what happens when different forces are exerted on those materials. We also talk about ideas like magnetic and non-magnetic, and things that float and things that sink, those kind of things. And further up the school, we might also learn about light, about how sound works, about electricity, and we also learn about the Earth and the solar system. So we cover a really big range of really important scientific ideas and knowledge, so that we've got a really secure foundation when we go to secondary school and we learn all of those things, but in a little bit more detail and some of the trickier parts too. Crucially though, we also learn about what it is to work scientifically. What is working scientifically? So in a very simple way, when we work scientifically, it means we come up with a hypothesis, an idea for what we think is going to happen, or we raise a question about something. Well, I wonder why when metal things sink. Do metal things always sink? So that might be the kind of question we've asked. We then have to work out a way to test that idea. And once we've tested the idea, we have to observe what happens and record the outcome. But then we have to repeat that test, and we have to do the test again and again, making sure that the variables are the same so that the test is fair, so that we set things up fairly, and then we see if that result is repeated. We call that a repeatable result. So we talk a lot about working scientifically, and we learn how to do that in school, and it's a really important part of what it is to be a scientist. Now, today's expert is going to tell us how science, amongst other things in terms of that they learnt at school, about how science has been put to use in their job. And we're going to give them our 6 big questions. So here we go, over to you, today's expert.
Hello, I'm Dan. I live here in Huntingdon with Mrs. Flint and our daughter Eden. When I was in primary school, I enjoyed playing with my friends on the playground. My favourite subject was art, but as I grew older, I started to enjoy maths and science, as specifically breaking down complex chemicals and trying to understand difficult maths problems. I work in a pet shop, and as a nutrition consultant and aquatics advisor, this means I help people find the right food for their dog or cat, and it also means that I would help them set up their fish tank to best suit their fish. I've also just finished training to become a manager. Having had an interest in maths and science from a young age, this really helped me get the most out of my job, such as knowing how certain chemicals were broken down in a fish tank and figuring out how much food to feed to a dog or a cat depending on the size or weight. I really enjoy giving people advice on how to get the most out of looking after their pets and hearing all the wonderful stories of the experience they have had with them. My main challenge is trying to explain to customers the things that can be a little bit complicated, such as the nitrogen cycle in a fish tank or the breaking down of low quality fibres in dogs or cats. The main thing I've found most helpful in 15 years is having the willingness to learn more and to adapt to the knowledge that I already know. Every day I learn something new. Working in a pet shop may sound simple, but there is a lot more to it than just selling animals.
Well, I had no idea there was quite so much to working in a pet shop, particularly all that stuff about the fish. It was quite scientific, wasn't it? Talking about nitrogen and then talking about getting the chemical balances right in the fish tank and then thinking about nutrition so that it was exactly the right for the needs of the particular animal. I'm beginning to understand why quite so many of my fish in my fish tank died when I was a child. I'm not sure I was quite as scientific as I needed to be about that whole process. But anyway, we don't need to tell anyone about that, do we? So a big thank you to today's expert, who's given us some really good advice on becoming an expert ourselves, and something that I really kind of kind of stayed in my brain from what he was saying was about how the fact that the biggest challenge that he faces is having to adapt his knowledge. And we talk a lot at school about flexible knowledge, about using the knowledge that we do have to help us solve problems that we've maybe not come across before. So thinking about, well, I don't know the answer to this right now, but what do I know and how might that help me in this situation? And that was something that our expert talked about today, and it's really, really important. So flexible knowledge that we know about that can be used not only in one context, but can also be used in another. And that was something that our expert said he really needed to do every day in his job. So that's something really useful to think about, isn't it? So that's going to stay with me. Thanks very much for our expert for that. So everyone, we have reached the end of today's curriculum assembly. A big thank you to our expert telling us how they use their science knowledge quite a lot in their job. So that was really good to know. I wonder what particular part of the curriculum we will be looking at next week and who our expert might be. You are just going to have to tune in next time to find out, everybody. So take care, have a great week, and of course, work hard, be kind.
Oh, I tell you what, I love meeting the expert. Big thanks to Mr. Flint there for taking part. I wonder who the expert will be next week. I wonder who Mrs. Stevens will introduce to us next week. Right, birthdays and then everyday knowledge for you. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Oh, come on! Right, happy birthday today, Jake in year 2. Jake is a great reader, so he'll have no problem reading all those birthday cards. Jake, have a great day with your friends and with your family, and I hope you have lots to celebrate another year older. Right, let's finish with everyday knowledge. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. And we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. Everyday knowledge for you. Measurement time. How many seconds in a minute? 60. How many minutes in an hour? 60. How many hours in a day? 24. How many days in a week? 7. Which day comes after Wednesday? Which day comes 2 days before Saturday? Thursday. Which day comes after Tuesday? Wednesday, well done. Right, okay, days in a month. Some months have 30 days. Which months have 30 days? 30 days has... Year 2, I know you find that tricky. 30 days has September, April, June and November. Let's do it again. 30 days has September, April, June and November. One more time. 30 days has September, April, June and November. Okay, how many days do the other months have? 31, that's right, apart from February. How many days does February have? 28, apart from in a leap year it has 29, that's right. How many months in the year? 12, that's right. Let's go through them. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Which month comes after June? July, that's right. Which month comes before December? November, that's right. Okay, years in a decade. 10, that's right. Okay, years in a century. 100, that's right. Okay. Let's do some length. How many millimetres in a centimetre? 10. How many centimetres in a metre? 100. How many metres in a kilometre? 1,000. That's right. How many kilometres in a mile? 1.6. Let's move this on to geography and countries. Okay, here we go, everyone. You tell me now, which country is number 2? Wales, that's right. Which country is number 4? England, that's right. Which country is number 1? Scotland, correct. Which country is number 3? Northern Ireland, absolutely brilliant. Right, just to finish, we're going to do the capital cities of these countries. Now, you know, the capital city is where the government is set up, is where the leaders make their decisions. Okay, what's the capital city of England? London, absolutely right. What's the capital city of Scotland? Edinburgh, absolutely correct. What is the capital city of Wales? Cardiff. And finally, the capital city of Northern Ireland is Belfast. Top work. See you next time.